Thousands of children affected by issues including drugs, alcoholism and neglect are reportedly not getting the help they need despite being referred to social services.
According to the charity Action for Children, many young people are missing out on support because their situation is not judged to be serious enough. Joanna Nicolas trains children's social workers and joins us on the sofa this morning. Good morning to you. Thank you very much for coming in and talking to us about this. Let's start with those numbers. Are they a surprise to you? Are they a concern for you?
They're not a surprise. They are certainly a concern, absolutely. We know there are an awful lot of families out there who are in need of support and they're not getting the support that they should be getting.
And one of the things that's come out in the report is that they have issues, but perhaps they're not being considered to be bad enough. So what kind of impact is that having?
Well, what we should have is we should have much better early support. So when a family starts to struggle, there's somewhere you can go. And what's happening, because of the economic situation, is the early help is just going. And so there isn't somewhere to go for those families. So more families are reaching crisis point, and then they get into the whole system, the social care system, which is not nearly as constructive for those families as just having somewhere less frightening for most people than social care, where they can go and just say, I need a bit of help.
Social care was a big issue in the general election. I mean, how much of this is a funding issue? Because the government would probably say, and do say, they're supporting recruitment and training. Is that being seen and felt on the ground?
I think it's important not to knock everything. I think the focus is generally on adult social care, not children's social care. What we're seeing is, we talk about budgets, it's not all about money, but if you decimate services, you are going to struggle. And because of that, combined with the economic situation and making life much, much harder for families, it's a melting pot of a really, really worrying situation.
You mentioned, didn't you, about early intervention. So what sort of help because it sounds extraordinary that might make a difference, but what sort of help really can you see making a difference?
Well, things like, I know you've done a lot of reporting on children's centres being closed. Children's centres are fantastic places. They're non-threatening places that families can go for help and support, and we're seeing them disappearing to a large degree. So it's places like that for families which are just not there anymore. And that's the worry, really, that we're not picking these families up. We're not helping families early enough.
As people watching you this morning from all over the country, how much of a sort of issue is regional variation? Are there big differences depending on where you live?
There are big differences, yes, absolutely, and it depends entirely on what is going on in that particular area. Lots of areas we see, for example, this week we've had a lot about child sexual exploitation. There's a lot of focus on that. Of course, understandably, there's the increase in online abuse we're seeing just absolutely exploding. And what we're seeing is the families, the everyday normal families out there who are struggling, we're not catching those families early enough.
I know you work with social workers. What kind of impact is it having on them, and is it changing the way they have to work?
I think it just makes it harder and harder for all the professionals, for social workers and all the other professionals who are working with families, because we don't never ever have enough time to do the work that we want to do. Most people go into social work because they want to help families. And we're not seeing nearly enough of that work being done because they're doing much more of the firefighting.
Thank you for coming on this morning, Joanna, and discussing those issues. Good to talk to you.
I should let you know as well, a Department of Education spokesperson told us it was taking action to improve social care and to provide extra funding for councils.